carries with Lawrence Maroney before you know it. And so now all of a sudden you've got 2 or 3 running backs on your roster that are sharing carries.
I think she's going to ride it out. I think she's going to be there till the end. Even though I don't think.
Look at my roster. I've got Ronnie Brown, Brian Westbrook. We don't share.
We're going to look at your roster
right.
in just a second.
But no, she's not a contender.
Okay,
not a contender.
I think she is a contender still. Smear the Queers, James Chapman. I don't think you've met Chapman yet. He was the 17th.
He did beat me.
He did beat you.
But that was one of the weeks where I got -4 from Bulger.
Now, if you look at his lineup, and this is if you put this lineup on the field last year, he'd be the worst team in the league. He's got Tom Brady, Willis McGahee, who's been doing good, great rookie pickups in Brandon Jackson from Green Bay is okay, but Adrian Peterson from Minnesota, a steal. Dwayne Bowe, who he picked up via free agency.
Yep.
Sean McDonald, the 4th wide receiver in Detroit's been doing good. A no-name team who's gone to 4-3, and I think he's right in the thick of it. What do you think?
I think he is. Looking at that lineup, he's got some Tom Brady. Obviously, you can't debate that. Willis McGahee, Brandon Jackson. The Brandon Jackson's the one question mark, but
Adrian Peterson, yeah,
will come back, and in a keeper league, that's a steal. I mean,
yeah.
I think
and you know what? He was very against keeper leagues. He had the same thing that you said. Oh, I'm the new guy. I'm going to pick like poop.
Yep. And I think Dwayne Bowe too will be a good keeper.
Oh, Dwayne Bowe's great.
I think Mr. Chapman will have a difficult time at the beginning of next year to decide who to keep and who to let go.
Oh, he's trying to talk me out of a keeper league. Maybe I should discontinue it because he's been trying to talk me out of it.
I don't like the keeper league either. Get rid of it.
No.
Just draft fresh every year. That's what
I think it's strategy. I think the keeper league is total strategy.
I think it's crap.
Yeah, well, of course you would. How about the privateers, real quick? Russ Reasoner's got Brett Favre. He's also got Vince Young, Brandon Jacobs, who just got back from injury, Deshaun Foster, Jason Witten, who had a great game from. He's 4-3 right now. He's riding a little winning streak. At the beginning, I thought this was the worst team in the league when he had Vince Young and Brett Favre was still an unknown, but he's come back a little bit.
Who is this? Privateers?
Yep. 4-3. Russ. Contender or pretender? He's lifetime 500, by the way.
Pretender.
You don't think he's got what? You don't think the roster's good enough?
No. And let me just see it here.
I'm going to say pretender as well. I think Brett Favre is too fluky.
I play the Privateers this week.
Well, you will know right offhand, I guess. This is a big inner matchup for you.
My prediction, Ronnie Brown, Brian Westbrook, point production, will beat his entire team.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez, all these predictions. I hope you guys at home are keeping score for all
Brett Favre is going to struggle against the Washington Redskins. He's going to have... Green Bay is going to lose 2 games in a row.
Okay, let's go on to the bitch magnet, Eric Moshan.
Are we running out of time?
Well, we need to move on a little bit.
Is that red light flashing? We're running out of time?
I don't know. I haven't checked.
All right. Well, I didn't finish with the Privateer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad. Well,
He's a pretender. I'd like to just analyze his players and justify my...
My bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
So, okay, so we're looking at Brett Favre. I think I love Brett Favre. I love the story that he gives. It's kind of like the whole Disney thing, going to Disneyland. But it's going to be short-lived. The Green Bay Packers are going to be maybe a little over 500. So they're going to lose some games here. Great defense, but I think they're going to start to lose.
Hopefully he plays too.
Deshaun Foster. Is Carolina starting Vinny Testaverde this weekend?
They might be, actually.
Yeah, so who knows what's going on there, and they're just in trouble. So Brandon Jacobs, he's a horse of a guy, so that's actually a good running back. But James Jones, so you're relying a lot on... You've got 2 offensive players in the Green Bay Packers. That's tough. This week,
James Jones, he fumbled twice. He's a great-looking rookie, but he put it on the turf there a couple times.
And they pulled him out of the game.
Well, he had to.
Laveranues Cole's flashy. One game he's going to give you a lot of points. Other games he's going to give you 0. So Jason Witten is a super stud. As far as the tight end goes, it might even rank up there with my Tony Gonzalez. But maybe a little bit.
We're getting to Tony Gonzalez. Don't worry. Okay, we're gonna move on.
He's a pretender.
He's a pretender. Eric Moshan, the bitch magnet.
He's a pretender just because of the.
Did you know the new sign that we're using for that? This is what he does when he flashes the win. It's the M for magnet. Now I think you're a little mad because, are you now man whore bitch magnet? That's kind of the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, who's
bitch
magnet?
I like that name. I'll give you that. That's a funny fucking name.
Now, who is more of a bitch magnet or who's more of a man whore? I mean, would it be you or would it be Eric?
Well, I think my wife's gonna watch this, so Eric will win that.
Well, maybe back in the day. I don't want Becky upset at all.
She's gonna appreciate the fact that you mentioned her. I love you, honey.
Oh.
I like to say hello to my wife.
Sure.
All right, so bitch magnet. Let's go look at.
He's got. Let me tell you his biggest problem.
I got him beat.
Okay.
We don't need to get into details.
Jake Delhomme's hurt. He'll probably cut him from his roster. I don't know if
he's out for the year.
Yeah. He's got David Carr right now, who, like you said, the Vinny Testaverde may be starting. Maybe he'll have to pick up Vinny Testaverde. Kevin Jones, Marshawn Lynch, Roscoe Parrish, Amani Toomer, Lendell White, Amon Green. Now, let me tell you a little something about Moshan.
Pretender.
This kind of lineup that he had before won the whole league. He had a bunch of no names. I wish I had the list of people that he won the first year with. Yeah. It was a bunch of scabs. Josh McCown was his starting quarterback. I'm going to say Eric's a contender just by who he is.
Pretender.
Just by who he is.
Pretender, and he's one of those scary teams that if he happens to make it, which I don't think you're going to make it, but if he happens to make it, yeah, he can beat you any week because who the hell are these people? They happen to have freaky games at the right time, give you a lot of points, and you get a win.
I've just known you never underestimate the Moshans. The freaking Moshans, you can't predict them. They're in the playoffs every year. The Moshans cause havoc.
Not this year.
Now, let's get to the Man Horse. 3-4, the same record as the Bitch Magnets. One game out of a playoff spot at the moment.
Yeah, I got a question for you.
Sure.
So if you look at the Doucet division, what team has scored the most points?
Well, I've got... Why, it's the Man Horse.
Oh, it is. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Well, it's either hit or miss for you. You score all these points, and then you don't score any points at all.
Well, let's look at the 2 weeks that I did score the points. 2 out of the 5.
Yeah?
The 2 out of the 5 weeks that I scored the points.
Are you jealous of my tie at all?
Not really.
You kind of like it. It takes a big man to wear a peacock on his chest.
So the two out of the 5 weeks that I scored the points that I scored, I actually had a quarterback provide me points. The three out of the 5 weeks, I started Mark Bolger, and I actually got negative points.
Jason Campbell. You know, last week was his best quarterback rating ever, and he scored you 26 fantasy points.
Jason Campbell, mark my words, will probably be a keeper next year.
Oh. No. Jason Campbell will not be a keeper next year. That's horse hooey.
But
you got Ronnie Brown. You got Ronnie Brown. You got Westbrook, who you've talked about the whole time we've been on this telecast.
That's right.
But here's the thing. And here's the thing with you, Dane, and this is why I think you're a pretender.
Oh, right.
It's not a contender. I'll tell you why right now.
I'm going to win the whole league with this lineup.
You flip-flop your guys every week. That's
wide receivers.
Now, I wrote down one of them, different wide receiver every week. That's the first note I made, okay? So let me tell you who your wide... Yeah, I did.
Who did I pick up this week?
Dennis Northcutt.
Yep.
Devery Henderson.
And I'm starting them.
Okay, I can't wait to see that.
I'm not starting... I'm starting Northcutt.
Okay, that's fine. You start Northcutt, who's... I didn't even know he was still in the league. He's with Jacksonville.
So, you guys... Pay attention. I'm starting Northcutt, and I'm keeping Stallworth. Thank you very much, Les.
And I don't...
Now, Stallworth is going to have another good game against those Cowboys, and Northcutt, out of nowhere. This is where